NAB 2024. We're here in South Hall at NETGEAR AV. Speaking to John Henkel. How you doing, John?
I'm doing great. A little tired. Third day
Yeah.
of the show. It's been super busy, which is great. We're happy to be here.
It's getting to us now, isn't it?
It is. I've
But
done
it's
a
been a
couple
great
of these
show.
shows.
It's been a great show. So there must be some NETGEAR AV news.
There is. There's the biggest thing for this show is our M4350 series switches.
Okay.
So we introduced those last year. It's about 12 models, I think, altogether.
Okay.
The second wave came out first of the year. And with that, 2 models of that will support the SMPTE ST2110 protocol. So they get the Grandmaster clock and the Boundary clock as well on 2 of the models. So you can use those for that ST2110 workflow and also use the 4250s or other 4350s in that same workflow that do support the transparent clock as well.
So let's go back to basics a little bit. Why can't I just use a standard NETGEAR router? Why the NETGEAR AV range?
You can for a lot of this stuff, but the configuration, I shouldn't say you can, you really can't.
Yeah.
They don't have what's in there to support
You shouldn't.
the precise time protocol, the PTP clock.
Right.
Just like our other AV switches wouldn't do 2110.
Okay.
But for multicast, for any AV over IP, you got to make sure certain things are there.
Okay.
So IGMP is the protocol you need to use for multicasting. There's certain things there that need to be considered. So like when you plug in an endpoint to a switch, it doesn't flood the network. That's a bad thing.
Well, this will,
Trust.
yeah. I mean, that's how people bring networks down.
Yeah.
So you need to control these things. And of course, video has a very special way of loading networks with data.
Oh yeah, IT people don't like that.
No.
So what we did, so we're an IT company, been in business for 28 years, right?
Yeah.
And I looked the other day, our first products we ever came out with were actually business switches. So we've been doing business networking for a long time, even though a lot of people know us for the consumer side.
Okay.
So what Laurent Massia, who I call the father of Pro AV at NETGEAR, he saw this for the managed switches being used in AV, and he's like, we needed to make a couple of tweaks here and there because people are not happy with the way this works. IGMP is a protocol for that. We call our interpretation of that now NETGEAR IGMP Plus.
Okay.
What that does is mean that when you plug in a source, an encoder to a switch, it's not going to flood the network.
Yeah.
We have our little secret sauce spin on that to make sure that that switch you plug it into will keep that stream there at that switch.
Cool.
So things like that make it an AV switch. And then for configuration, because oftentimes you had to be a CCNA or Cisco certified or just an IT expert to configure a switch.
Yeah.
Not with NETGEAR switches. I'm not that. You may be smart enough to do that. I couldn't do it.
Certainly not. Yeah.
So what we did is we made an AV interface.
Yeah.
And it's not a dumbed down switch, just an interface in front of the switch. What that does is we have a bunch of profiles. We've expanded this over time. So for any kind of AV over IP, whether it's Dante for audio, NDI, or now SMPTE 2110, you have a profile that you go select the profile, which ports, okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, and enter, we'll configure the switch for you. And that way it's certified by all these different manufacturers. We have over 250 manufacturing partners, and it's also repeatable every time. So even the IT guys now love this sort of approach because they know they can deploy the switch and the AV guy's not going to screw it up. It's going to be perfect every time.
They're not going to get users ringing them up, moaning something's gone wrong, etc.
No.
So you mentioned partners. I'm hoping you might have recently had some new partners brought on board.
How smart you are,
well
we
done.
have.
Look at that.
Every week almost. So there's a website on our website that has a list of all the partner logos. It's constantly being updated. So one of the most recent ones that's really perfect for this market was Panasonic, the Panasonic Kero system.
Okay, yeah.
As we went into 2110, we wanted to make sure we align ourselves with these different partners, and Panasonic Keros is one of those. So we're now a certified partner with them. There's a press release, I think, before the show about that.
Cool.
So that they are you're ensured that their switches, their production environment will work with our switches and vice versa.
Of course.
So we have a profile for them too.
Brilliant. So if people want to know more about the partnerships, about the product, of course, I do want to ask, all of the new switches, they're all available?
Definitely. Yep.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, John. So don't forget to go to netgear.com/AV for all the information you need, and for everything else that we're doing at NAB 2024, it's kitplus.com.